Squire! Fetch my vorpal helmet!
Sir, I don't think that word means what you think it means.
All right, welcome back to Vorpal Helmet. Here we are with the party having defeated some large and giant frogs the size of dogs, a couple the size of ponies. They've rested a little bit, and now they're advancing upon the Ruined Moathouse. Yasunge will move up first and tell the party to stay close as he scouts out first. The box text in the adventure reads that the partially splintered planks of a rotting wooden drawbridge rest on the spongy ground. Creeping vines and leafy weeds obscure parts of the bridge, although thick iron bands can be discerned among the wreckage. Two sundered chains of thick black metal disappear into the algae-choked water to each side of the bridge. It appears that one can safely pick their way across the rotting timbers with caution. So that's exactly what Yasunge is going to do. He's going to make his way across. Let's zoom out a little bit here. And Yasunge gets in there and peeks around. And when he does peek around, he sees that we have a large empty space with rubble to the left. In terms of these gates here, a great thick wooden door reinforced with corroded metal bands limply hangs open on one great hinge. The other door is splintered and holed but still in position, wedged and shoved closed from the inside. So that's that one, and this is the one that's hanging. And when they get into this large area, he can see that off to the left there is a tower with the upper portion that has collapsed. He looks over there. He sees to the upper right that there are some littered steps. Actually, what we're going to do here, by the way, is we're going to do a tracking roll. So let's talk about how this would work. The information in the adventure states that a careful examination of the ground here in this area with a successful DC 13 Wisdom survival check reveals humanoid boot prints on the ground heading across the courtyard to the building steps at Area 5. All right, so Yasunge is looking for that information. So he will be carefully examining the ground. Now, in D&D, it's a difficulty class. It's difficulty class 13, DC 13. And you can see here very easy, medium, hard, etc. Those are the things, if any of you have played Baldur's Gate, you know that when you have to do certain tasks, you roll and it tells you what the difficulty class is. Straightforward. You roll D20, you add your bonuses. If you roll over it, you succeed. If you roll under it, you fail. So that's not the way, as you know, that it's done in GURPS. GURPS uses a different mechanic. Everything is basically roll under. So in GURPS and DFRPG, we have task difficulty modifiers, right? So imagine that for purposes of this discussion here, we're talking about Yasunge using the tracking skill, which he has only an 11. He's a novice scout. He's more of a sharpshooter with a bow of 16, but as a first level scout, well, as a scout who is a novice scout, if I recall correctly. What are these guys in terms of points? I think they are 62 points or whatever it is, but he doesn't have a tremendous amount of skill here. But we look at the task difficulty. +6 or better is for trivial tasks. As you can see, that adds to his skill for purposes of the roll. He's going to roll under. So that's what we kind of see here, right? So I created a task modifier conversion chart. Interested in what you guys think about it. Feel free to leave comments below. But this is kind of the way that I did it, and you can certainly do it somewhat differently. But the way I see it, it's a DC 13 is the equivalent of what I would call a +1 modifier for DFRPG. So basically, Yasunge's got to roll a 12 or under in order to see if he notices anything here. So let's see if he can do that. We'll give him a +1 task modifier. Right, tracking. Okay. And he does. He makes it by 6. Great. So that's a level of success that is pretty good. And we'll say that he sees this. He then comes back out and says, hey, tells his buddies, there's humanoid boot prints. They're leading to the stairway to the upper right. Let's be quiet and as stealthy as we can, and let's go there. So that's what they're going to do. Let's remove this, remove that. We'll have them move up. Maybe we'll have them move up. How about up arrow? There we go. Right, okay, great. So we get them in there. They're going to start moving towards here. Let's just make that a little bit more quick. All right. And in terms of the littered steps, what's written there is that a broad stone staircase littered with some rubble and wooden splinters climbs up to the living quarters of the fort. The doors at the head of the stairs are broken. One, mostly intact but weathered, is flat on the ground, while the other is sundered and partially hangs from its hinges. And once again, a careful examination of those steps reveals that some traffic, human, animal, and perhaps otherwise, has passed this way recently. So let's do the same thing again. +1 task modifier. All right. And Yasange will once again roll for trekking. All right, and he makes it. So he does see the tracks here once again. Tells people to be quiet here and stealthy. Now, if I recall correctly, this area, I believe, is open. There are holes in the roof here, or there's not even a lot of roof in this area. So my recollection is that all of these keyed locations, except for a couple, are exposed to natural sunlight due to the collapse of the upper level. So, still in sunlight here. They're going to move in this direction. So, Yasunge scouts out first. He comes over here. He sees that there's a hallway. He sees there's a door up there, which is where the humanoid tracks seem to lead to. He's going to peek down this hallway and look down there. All right, and sees that there's a door and an open area. Listens for a sec. Doesn't hear anything. Goes up to here. Oops, bad footing. Yeah, that's an automatic thing. That's kind of fun. Peeks over here. Sees a door, a couple of doors. Once again, no tracks necessarily going that way. And doesn't hear anything. So he comes over there. He gestures, puts his finger up to his lips, basically shushing folks, and motions for them to come up to here where this door is. So that's what they start to do. Yasunge comes to about here. All right, Yasunge goes there. He has his bow out. He's ready. Frank's going to go up to there. Carlotta. Get our folks this way, and we're going to move folks into position. Now, they strongly suspect that there are folks behind this doorway. So Frank determines that he's going to, they quietly whisper and say what their plan is going to be. So Frank is going to try to, let's see, he's going to open the door. All right, we're going to position him like so. Frank will be right here for purposes of this. I think we'll just move him back slightly so we can see. Foxfire will be right here. We'll have Carlotta right there, ready to go in right behind Frank. Raj next to her. Yasunge will have his bow out, ready to shoot. and Thalnar will be right there. So basically the idea is Frank's going to shoulder in the door. He's going to have his sword and shield ready. He's going to basically just push the thing open and see what happens. Before he does that, Thalnar says, "Look up, Frank. I'm going to put a magical shield on you." So he's going to give him a magical shield, casting it on Frank. He'll touch him to do it. Let's see if that works. The first time fails. So Thalnar is going to cast a magical shield on Frank, +2. He's going to touch him to do it. He succeeds. All right. And a +2 shield is going to cost him 4, so he'll be at 11 fatigue points. And we will give Frank the effect of a +2 magical shield. So that should help him going into this battle. And when we resume, we will start off with Frank shouldering open the door.
Thanks for watching Vorpal Helmet.